Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. My name's Karen Bowness, and I'll be your webinar moderator today. I'm the Marketing Manager here at MedTech, and with me today I have Ben Legros, our National Sales Manager. Hi, Ben.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Karen.
Now, can you see my screen, Ben, before I start?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Sorry for the delay getting started, everyone. We've had over 350 people register for today, so as you can imagine, it's just a bit slow getting everyone in the webinar and started, but we're going to make a start now. So today we're here to talk about getting started with telehealth and in particular video consultations. And the reason I guess there's so much interest is this coronavirus that we're all experiencing has changed the way we interact with our patients and each other. None of us want to be quarantined for 2 weeks or more. So we've all learned the phrase social distancing, which is something we never had heard, I had never heard of only a few weeks ago, but now we're all too familiar with it. And video consultations represents a great way for us to slow the spread of the virus down. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and hopefully give you some tips and tricks and show you our fantastic solution for video consultations and telehealth. There's quite a bit to cover, so let's have a look at the agenda. We're going to start with a bit of housekeeping, as if you're a regular attendee of our webinars, you'll know I always like to do my housekeeping. And then I'm going to hand over to Ben, who's going to give you a bit of an overview of MedTech, in case you're not familiar with us, and also telehealth. And he's going to take you into a demonstration of our product, Manage My Health. And we're going to finish with some questions and answers. I'm here, of course, as your webinar moderator to answer any of your questions as we go along, so please feel free to ask them as we go through. And I'll answer any I can. Any that I'm not able to, Ben will answer at the end. So that's the plan. Also, the session is being recorded. So at the end of the session, or maybe an hour after the session, you'll receive an automatically generated email from GoToWebinar that will have a link to the recording and also to the slide presentation. So let's get started with a bit of an overview of using GoToWebinar so you know how to communicate with us. Hopefully you have this control panel on the top right-hand side of your screen. Oops, I've gone backwards. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully you've all got the control panel up the top there. We're going to focus on this section here. If you want to minimize the control panel, you just simply click on the orange arrow and that will get rid of this main part and just leave you with the grey boxes. If you want to open it back up, you click on it again. It works like a toggle, so it turns all the functions on and off. The next option down just tells you that you're muted and won't be able to speak. If you want to talk to us or have any questions, we ask you to use the questions section down the bottom here. So simply type in your question here and press send. And I'll be at the bottom waiting, or at the bottom, I'll be here waiting to answer your questions. The other options on there are the hand raising and the background window. So to minimize or maximize the background window, simply click on that button. Now I'm having a few people comment they're having issues with the sound. Can you give me a show of your hands, raise your hand if you're able to hear me? Okay, that's good. Thanks everyone. I was a little worried. Okay, so without holding things up any further, I'm going to hand you over to Ben Legros, our National Sales Manager, an expert on all things technology and practice management and telehealth. So hi, Ben.
Hi, Karen. Thanks for that. Now, just checking you guys can see my screen.
We can see the current slide and the next slide.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll just change the other screen. Check.
That's better.
How's that? Is that better?
We can still see the next slide.
Okay, give me a second. How do you change screens on here? Give me a second. All right, I figured it out. Got it. Main one. There we go. Perfect. That better?
That's it. Yeah, that's perfect. Now we can see the
Perfect.
whole screen. Thanks, Ben.
Okay. I'll skip all Karen's stuff because she's already done that. Okay, first thing I just want to talk about MedTech. A lot of you here probably don't know who we are, the ones that do, so this might be a bit of repetitory for you. But we are the #1 leader in PMS and patient portals in New Zealand, and we also work in 5 different countries around the world. So this whole COVID thing, we are across it in multiple different regions, and there's different solutions happening to manage the outcomes and issues that each country is facing. We have over 350 staff worldwide. So as a customer, you're very well looked after, both support, sales, and development side. So we can do a lot of things very quickly, very rapidly, and make sure our customers are well looked after, because it's very important that your systems are always up and running at their best. We connect over 1 million people using the MedTech solutions today. In New Zealand alone, like I said, the New Zealand System Patient Portal, which is MMH, is being used widely over New Zealand to manage the telehealth solution with the COVID virus and for other types of solutions. So what we're going to be talking today about is mainly the telehealth consultation side of it. We do have a range of products within Manage My Health, which we can show at a later date and have the ability to attach onto the solution and give you the option to have. Things like remote health monitoring, shared patient records, repeat prescriptions, lab results, online appointments, patient recalls, and then the practice management solution. But today we're going to try to talk as much about the telehealth solution. You will see on the application that I'm running, we will have all these features, but mainly we're focusing on the telehealth side to show you how that works. What is telehealth? Telehealth is a medical device communication technology that helps the doctor and the patient have a discussion about monitoring and going through disease and symptoms, basically. The benefits of telehealth: triage potential infectious patients with an online booking feature and telehealth consult, keep patients infectious away from your waiting rooms and other staff members within your clinics. Video consultations are available via app or the desktop web browser. Nurses or doctors can manage patients via a video consult. Doctors can perform a consult anywhere, even if they are in quarantine or in self-isolation. It's very quick and easy to set up, which we help you with. It's cloud-based, so no software required installing on your server, no security risks. We meet all Australian digital health standards. It's hosted here in Australia. And it's simple monthly subscription, which you can cancel at any time. Now, what is Manage My Health? Manage My Health provides a video consultation anywhere at any time, enabling patients to make and change appointments, provide patients with secure access to test results, connect medical devices in the home so doctor can monitor them, such as blood pressure, blood sugar, oximeter, spirometer, ECG, and a lot more. This takes it further than just the telehealth solution we're talking about today. There are a lot of solutions out there in the market which talk about telehealth. That's great. We can do a video consult. But just with this whole problem we're facing at the moment, there's going to be more things that you want to do with the software in the future. And we will give you those abilities and those other added features if needs be when you want them. Request repeat prescriptions. This is another big thing that's going on at the moment. Our current government is talking about electronic scripts. They're trying to speed up that development, and we're already ready for that in our Manage My Health application. Secure messaging. If the patient has a telehealth consult with you, they might say their temperature is still staying up. They still feel woozy in their lungs and struggle to breathe. All those kind of things can be messaged to the doctor, and the doctor can see the notifications and information on his computer. He doesn't have to wait for the person to call the clinic, sit on hold. He can just see it come up on his computer taskbar. What are the requirements? Everyone asks this question. It's very simple. Internet speed or Wi-Fi speed. Make sure you have a good internet connection. Most of the time today, people have NBN or a good ADSL connection. In the clinics, you have a top fiber connection or a really good NBN connection. App download. Make sure your patients know that they can download the app on the Google Play Store or iStore. And we will give you documentation on how this works. And also part of the registration shows how to download the app and gives them a link to it. The hardware, very simple. A laptop or computer with webcam, microphone, and speaker. Making sure the room that you're doing it in is lighted correctly, it looks nice, and has a nice background. You don't want a patient looking at you on a telehealth conference with a small hole in the wall and a child running around in the back. And make sure your equipment is clean and regularly looked after, because again, it helps to spread a virus and it makes sure that you can do telehealth at a moment's notice. Now, to the best bit, the workflow, how the system works. What I've done is I've put a simple diagram through to show you how the telehealth solution works, and then I'll show you a live demo. So first, if you're using our online booking engine, the patient can make a booking directly on your website, fully integrated. If you're not, you can use your own booking system and feed it into your PMS, where then you can just attach on and put the patient demographics into our telehealth solution. The next step, the patient registration. So this is the step I'm just talking about. If you don't have our online appointment engine, you're using Health Engine or HotDoc or another system like that, you can still register them in our Manage My Health solution as a standalone system. Just enter their details like name and date of birth, which I'll show you in the live demo, and then they will get a registration link. The next part, when that registration link goes to the patient, they will receive 2 icons to be able to download the app to do the consultation. The reason we do this is for security, okay? It is a medical software. We have a lot of data in it, so we use a secure app. We don't use a web browser unsecured telehealth conference like Skype. We use a proper secure app, which is one of the biggest things the government's talking about at the moment. The system should be a proper medical software to do telehealth consults. Once that's done, the patient is into the app. They will then receive reminders about their upcoming appointments. The doctor will be able to send reminders to the patient once they're in the waiting room and tell them if he's running late or he's on time and he's ready to go. The doctor will also receive messages that the patient is sitting in the waiting room ready to go. Exactly like a PMS, but for telehealth. So you don't have patients sitting there waiting and not knowing what's going on, and same with the doctor. You don't know if the patient's there or not. Okay? So the first part of my live demonstration will be the patient registration. This screen that you see at the moment is adding a patient into the system. Now, like I was saying before, if you don't use our online appointment engine, you just manually put in the person's details into this system. Okay? The clinic will automatically be populated by the clinic that we've selected when we set you up. You put in their first name, last name and date of birth, a mobile phone number, and an email address. The reason we have mobile phone number and email address is so we can contact them or email them the verification code and access codes. After that, what we do is we get into the app. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go into the app now and I'll show you. So currently I'm logged in as a doctor here, okay? And on the other side of my screen, I'm just going to bring up my phone so you can see both sides, okay? Here is my appointment book for today, and I'm going to make an appointment with a patient, okay? So let's go into here. Automatically, when I select the time, it's going to go into my patient search. I can search for the patient, but because I'm B for Ben, it's going to be pretty easy for me to find. There's me. I can select myself. It will then bring up the book appointment. I can put in a reason, COVID-19 consult. Another advantage of this system is I can actually have a questionnaire. So if you want to question the patient about the COVID-19, you want to ask them where they've been, have they been in any contact with someone, all those kind of options are available to you. And they have to fill that questionnaire before going into the telehealth consult. I'll enable a reminder, which gives me half an hour before, and I'll say book appointment. It's that simple. As you can see over here on the right side where my app is, I've just got my appointment confirmation straight away. It's an instant link on the phone, ready to go. So I'll close that. Here's my app. Down the bottom, you will also see there's my appointment I just entered. Okay, let's join the appointment. Now you all get to see my lovely face. There's me in the appointment, waiting for the doctor. Now the doctor can click on the link. I don't want to edit the appointment. When he does that, it will actually give him the option to bring up if he's on time or not on time. Okay, so give me 1 sec, I'll just bring that back up. Okay, so now that I'm in the patient's file, I can look at the patient's information that they sent through to me. Like I was talking about before, this is a fully fledged product. This has all the options added to it. So I can actually see the blood pressure taken by the patient and the temperature taken by the patient before going into the telehealth consult. A lot of the other competitors in our systems don't do this feature. Most of them are just a video conferencing tool. This gives you the advantage to know a lot more about the patient before going into the telehealth consult. To start the consult on the doctor's side, all I click is the video camera, and I'm going straight into the consult now. There's my face there, and there's my face there on the other consult. As you'll see, it'll boot up the split screen and show me on both screens. It'll let me actually do a full consult with the patient live. Okay. Once I've finished the consult, all I have to do is close the window and the patient just hangs up the line. And that is completed. If I was running late or I had a stoppage, it would come up here in my notifications that the doctor was running late, or he was running on time, or he needs to reschedule. The system gives you the ability to do that. So if you have a huge abundance of telehealth appointments and you're running back to back, or you have a lot of clients in the clinic, you can actually put a time limit on how long you'll be. That stops the patient from leaving and you missing out on the money for that patient. Okay. Now, back to the presentation. With that also, we will email your clients showing them how to use the telehealth product. We will provide you material on how to show your patients how to use it and help you as best we can to make sure your patients understand how to use it and you know how to use it to the best of your ability. We will help you with social media, on-hold messaging, your website, promote it in the waiting room, and offer you marketing. So as you can see, I've got a few samples of the marketing there, which Karen has given me lovely and made them so colourful. So patients would easily see these in any waiting room. They involve anything from a poster, email content, social media posts, reception scripts, how to use cards, and flyers. And we're finding at the moment, a lot of the patients that are signing up for this system in both New Zealand and here are the elderly. So they are understanding how to use it, and they seem to be understanding the brochures quite well and how to actually get the system working. But as you can see from today's demo, it's very simple. It's not rocket science. And we try to make it simple so we make sure that the patients can get in easily, get their consult, and get out. And it gives you the advantage to make sure your patients are well looked after and make sure that you're giving the best consultation to your ability. Now, the final price is how much is it? We work in a grouping methodology, so maximum and minimum numbers. So 1 to 4 users, the cost per site is $45, and you get 100 free calls. After that limit, you'll charge 45 cents per call. If you're a 5 to 8 user clinic, you charge $90 per site. If you're 9 to 13, $135, 14 and up to 80, $180. And as you can see, as you go up in the free calls, you get more given to you in those brackets. But the cost of consultations still stay the same. And there is only one $250 setup fee. So it's very simple and easy to get up and running. Anyone that wants to have a further look or wants to get this system after this telehealth demo, we're happy to take that information, like Karen said, in the survey, and we can actually then discuss the implementation and going further from there. So pretty much just like I said, if you want to know anything else, give us a call or put your questions inside the survey after, and we will try to help you the best we can with your telehealth system. From that, what I'll do now is I'll hand over to Karen again to go through the questions that anyone has about the application, and I'll try my best to answer them. Any questions that we don't get answered today, we will surely get back to that person with the answer and provide a very detailed explanation. Okay, thank you all for listening, and I'll give it back to Karen to go through the questions.
Okay, thanks for that, Ben. So far, we've only got a few questions. Some I've been able to answer, which is wonderful, which means I've been learning from you, Ben. Now, David's asking us, could you explain in layman's terms why using Skype would be a security risk, or can you think of a scenario?
So currently Skype is a web-based chat system. Yes, it is an open web-based system. It's not based around a medical protocol, so it's not really built for that nature. You could use it. I'm not stopping you or anything like that, but it hasn't been recommended by the Australian government just because at the moment the volume of people using it means that there's going to be a lot of up and down time. Like as of this week, I think most of the video chat systems that are widely used around the world have dropped out, and they don't plug into PMS systems. Plus, the hosting can be hosted off Australia through some of them. Skype, I know, does have a Microsoft hosting here in Australia, but I don't think that Skype is hosted here, so the information isn't fully secure to Australian standards.
Okay, someone else is asking about Zoom. Is Zoom recommended by the Australian government?
Zoom, yeah, we use that in the office here. It's a great system. The major difference between Zoom and something like Manage My Health is that it's mainly just a video conferencing tool. You don't have the ability to talk directly to the patient via instant message. You don't have the ability to take vitals down or put any clinical records with the patient while doing the telehealth consult. You'd have to use your PMS, and you'd have to use a double screen or screen side by side while using Zoom.
Okay, Anthony's asking, we are already using MedTech on premise. Would this be an add-on or standalone? Ben? Anthony, I know the answer to that one. It's an extra module.
I can help you there.
Sorry, I dropped out there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I dropped out. I'm back.
I was taking over, Ben.
That's all right.
Anthony was asking if he's already using MedTech on premise, would it be an add-on or standalone? And I said it's an add-on. That's correct. Soon I'll be working in the sales team.
Correct, Karen. You should be in sales. Problem is, you're too good at marketing, so I can't lose you at that. But correct, Karen is right. It's a full add-on solution, so it's fully plugged in, and you don't need to register the patient in the application. It automatically pushes in.
Okay. Is it used in physio or podiatry clinics?
Yes. We've got a large allied health and physiotherapy group using it in Queensland. They use it for their appointments, for both the aged care facilities they look after and their normal physiotherapy appointments. They do some telehealth consults, and they use the online appointment engine.
Okay. Kay's asking, can you keep patient notes on this system?
Yes, you can. So if I go back into the screen, I can actually do clinical notes on it. You can see there on my screen at the moment, there's clinical notes.
Okay. Couple around pricing. Someone's saying, is that $45 pricing per month, per week, or year?
Per month.
Per month. And so the 100 credits or the 100 calls, is that 100 every month with their $45?
100 total. So you get the first 100 free when you sign up.
Okay, thank you for that. Does it interact with Genie medical program to access patient data?
We can look at that. That is on the roadmap for future reference, where we can actually port over the patient data. At the moment, because of the fluidity of the issue, we've had to really rush this application through to make sure that everyone can get access to it. When we link to those systems, we will be able to present that to you. But at the moment, we're just trying to get it up and running to make sure patients are best cared for in the current problems that we're facing.
Okay, so would that answer be the same for best practice and medical director?
Correct, yeah. So we tried to make the simple add patient facility as simple as possible. We don't want you re-entering the wheel here. So that's why when you enter the patient, you only have to have first name, last name, phone number, and an email address. Once we plug in the PMS systems, we'll be able to pull all the information across. We're working with them currently and making sure that we'll be able to do that in the future.
Okay, thanks for that. Is anyone using this system for mental health consultations?
Yes, they are. So we've got a large psychiatrist company in Queensland using it, over 60 users. They do mental health consultations worldwide. So not only in Australia, they're looking after patients overseas, doing consults via telehealth and doing mental health assessments through a checklist form using our evolution package, where then it gives them a calculated outcome on what best to do with the patient and handle the situation that the patient is currently facing. If they're facing stress, mental anxiety, all those kind of things. So the two systems combined work quite well. So they can do an assessment with them while doing the telehealth and actually see how they're actually feeling, how they're talking, all those kind of things. Gives them a bit more of a read on the patient.
Okay. Someone else is asking, can you sign up? Oh, sorry. Can you see this working for an occupational therapist in the community?
Yes, so we are currently just got a NDIS large group on board. They do a lot of occupational therapy as well, where they do this on site, and then once they've done their on-site assessment with the patient, they then do follow-up via telehealth. The reason for this is they're out in rural areas around Dubbo and the New South Wales border, where they can't travel from one end of New South Wales to the other in the time of the day. So what they try to do is they try to do as many telehealth conferences with the patient just to touch base and see how it's going. But yes, that is possible.
Okay, and someone else is asking about dietitians. Do we have any dietitians using the system?
Ram, I think we do on that side, correct?
But dietitians, we are basically more having in the UK sector where they're doing the hospital post-discharge from the hospital. I'm not 100% sure in Australia about which customer is using that.
Yeah, so we have the ability to attach a scale to the device, which is Bluetooth. So you can actually get the patient to weigh themselves through the application and give weights. Then you can also set goals for the patient, where you can say run 10Ks, where their Fitbit device will take the measurement of how far they've run or ridden their bike and feed it into the system to give the doctor live data on what they've done and how their weight is going in dietitian side.
You can attach Fitbit.
Yeah, correct.
And Apple devices.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is, do people usually charge the same for telehealth services as they do for attended services?
It can range. Telehealth services at the moment are different costings. Until the government activates the full telehealth system at the moment, they've only activated for mental health and for the COVID situation, but there is a bunch of codes getting activated at a later date for telehealth, and a lot of different areas, a lot of different types of consultations you can do, and the patient will still be able to rebate it through Medicare as well. So the cost will vary a little bit, but it's normally quite close to a normal consultation in health.
We have a couple around payments, like how does the patient pay?
Okay, so currently with the COVID coding that's been released to the practices via Medicare, those codes are available to you now through your PMS systems. If you haven't got it from your current PMS provider, I would call them because they should be updating that system to you. My customers with Evolution have got that release where they can actually bring up the COVID codes. Other than that, there are, like I said, telehealth codes for the patient in Medicare. You can also create your own private billing codes. We are working on a current payment schedule system, but if you're looking at that, we would have to discuss that outside of this meeting and go through it with you about how that would work.
It will be Stripe.
Thanks, Ben. Couple of people asking about, is there a free trial or a demonstration? When you exit the webinar today, you'll be asked if you're wanting more information. If you just tick that box and leave us your phone number, one of our consultants will get back to you this afternoon and talk to you about the different options for trials, demonstrations, that sort of thing. So that's easy. Sorry, I'm just going through the questions. Someone's asking about pathology requests. What do you use for pathology requests and which private providers accept the e-requests?
So currently the provider requests come through our PMS system and plug straight into the Manage My Health application. So we don't want the patients getting a bad result directly sent to them on their phone. You want to make sure that you actually have a chat to them, or they come into the clinic to have a chat with you, just for patient comfort. So what that means is, within the PMS system, you would say what results can be sent to the patient once you've received them and okayed them, or you've already spoken to the patient, where they might be traveling overseas and you might need to give them a result so they can go into a pharmacy and get a drug for an issue they're facing. So it uses the standard protocols, which is a HR7 message transfer. It picks it up, goes into the practice management system you currently have, and then pulls straight into the Manage My Health application once it's been filed to the patient. As long as, like I said, it's an all right result. You don't want to sit there and tell them via a message that they have cancer or a hernia or something bad. You want them to make sure that they come into the clinic and talk to you on that regard. But every other result, like a standard blood test for the flu where it's come back negative, that you have COVID virus or something like that, you can send directly to them and actually write the note, "You're all fine, I've just sent the result to you."
Okay, thanks.
And also the mobile app.
Thanks, Rama. The next one's from Michelle. How long does it take to set up?
Very simple. There is pretty much no setup on your side. We don't want you guys to be inundated with trying to set this application up. We send you a welcome pack, which involves literally all the information, like the doctor's name, and if you want a picture of the doctor on there, so when the patient can select the doctor on the appointment side. We also set up all the users for you. The only thing that you have to do is literally set up the patient. So up and running, we could be under a week. So you could be talking to a day or so, depending on the amount of volume at the moment. We are facing quite a large volume because of the COVID virus, but we will make sure that we can rapidly deploy it for you as soon as we can. So I'd say about a day to two for a very small practice. Bigger practices may take longer.
Okay, someone's asking, what's our experience with supporting pediatric speech pathology with this system?
Okay, I only have one practice that uses pediatric pathology. She is one of my very good customers, and I have a lovely relationship with her. She uses the telehealth very simply, where she can talk to the patient and work through it. I'm happy to give you a reference on that side.
Okay, thanks for that. Now, one of our clients, Rhonda, is asking, with the pricing, is it the number of doctors using the system or the total number of staff numbers for our clinic? We currently have
number of doctors using the system.
Okay, wonderful. Hopefully that answers your question, Rhonda. Someone's asking, do we know any GP referring to physicians?
In regards to once you've had a telehealth conference with the patient, I might need some more detail on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm a physician and I need a referral from a GP to bulk bill.
Okay, so depending on how your PMS works, if they are referring to you from a GP practice, that can come into your current PMS system, and then you can pick that up and then take the information from there and put it into the Manage My Health application to do the telehealth consult. Hopefully that answers. I'm a bit confused about that question, but hopefully that helps.
And I can answer that. There are two ways. One is a normal way where you use secure messaging between the practice management system that is already out there. Second way is the GP can upload to the portal a referral letter.
Oh yes, I can show that. Yeah, so in the actual application, you have the ability to upload the document or into the inbox of the patient. So there's the mail. It will go into the inbox, of the doctor where they can then open it and view it, either on the web app or their phone app as the doctor. So I can just show you now, there's my inbox. If the GP has a referral can send you, they can send it directly into this actual system itself.
Okay, that's good, thank you. I've got quite a few questions around pricing. A few people are asking for clarification on the $45 a month. So
Yep,
that's for 1 to 4 users or doctors. So it's whoever's using the system, I'm assuming, is that right?
correct. So I'll clarify. So here we go. We'll start through it. So I'll bring it up on screen. Give me 1 second so we can all go through it. So 1 to 4 users is 4 doctors using it at $45 per site. That is it. And you get 100 free calls once you start with us.
Yeah, but that's a one-off, 100 free calls.
Correct. Yep. There's only a one setup fee of $250 to get you up and running, to configure the system and set you all up running.
And then after you
Same thing
use
with the 5 and 8. So if we look at the 5 and 8, you can have 5 doctors up to 8 doctors. You only get charged $90 per month. That is it. You get 200 free calls straight away. And then from there, once the 200 free calls are up, it's 45 cents for the call limit.
Okay, hopefully that answers everyone's pricing questions, but I'm here poised, so if you've got any more pricing questions, send them through.
We're also happy to give you guys direct quotes on this, directed to you rather than just talking about the pricing here. We just want to give you a simple understanding of it. But after this, anyone that wants a quote and wants to go ahead or have more of a demo, like Karen was saying, just get in touch with us directly and we're happy to help you out.
Okay, so someone's wanting to clarify, if we are using an iPad to undertake the video consultation and we write a referral and send it through the app, there is currently no way of interfacing between the app and our practice software such that the details can be entered in the patient record without us doing it manually.
I'll let you handle that one, Rama.
Yeah, there are 2 things. If you're using MedTech practice, then that letter will come right into the inbox of the provider. If you are using other systems such as BP, MD, etc., that's work in progress. We can't directly send it there.
Yeah,
But
you can send it off. You can send it off the app back to your current email system at your PMS. Then the PMS would have to pick it up from your inbox. But again, yeah, it's still moving a lot until we do the integration. Just because of the current situation at the moment, we're just trying to get everyone up and running in the simplest form. Yeah, we can look at that. If you want to discuss that further with us, we're happy to have a chat to you offline.
Okay. So it's someone else wanting clarification on the number of users. Could you please clarify with the users if you have a maximum of 4 users at one time or the total amount of providers in the practice? So, for example, if you've got a 1 to 4 license, Ben, but you might have 15 doctors, but only 4 of them are doing telehealth, are you still able to get the 1 to 4 license?
Yeah, correct. If you're only using four consults of telehealth, I'm not going to charge you for the 15 doctors. If you only want 4 licenses to do 4 consulting rooms, so that would be it. But if you wanted an extra one, then you'd move up to the next scale. So let's say you've got 4 telehealth consulting rooms that you're going to use that are just going to be the doctors doing those teleconsults. We'll charge you for the 4. And if you come back the next day and say one of my other doctors wants to come on board and add on, which will take you to 5, then you go up to the next bracket.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing a lot of people wanting to just trial it, and they're just going for a 1 to 4 license, and then as they roll it out into their clinic, we can scale with them,
correct.
and they can increase their license.
And that's actually a great model. That is a great model because you can start it out, see how you go with one telehealth room, put the system on there, start doing the COVID telehealth checks. If the volume goes up, you can go all the way to 4. If the volume then jumps again, you can just go to the next set, and we can set you up at a moment's notice. It's very simple. Once you're on board, we can just add users very easily.
Okay, thanks for that, Ben. Is telehealth being promoted by government in the NDIS space as well currently?
The government isn't really promoting it. The customer that we're working with in regional New South Wales does promote it as one of their services for their NDIS patients, mainly because it's like, it's the disability scheme, so it helps having the ability to do telehealth. I haven't seen any major promotions for it in the National Disability Scheme, but we know that our customers that are using it are promoting it quite heavily in their markets.
Thank you for that. Is there a time limit per free call as such? Are the consultations timed?
They can be timed if you want that system to be activated. We have the ability to time the consultation. The only thing at the moment with the COVID virus, you are held to a time limit if you want to use those Medicare item codes. If it's a private billing, the time limit isn't really in effect, but we can send you our contracts with our terms and conditions, which gives you all the details about limits and things like that. But I don't see any issue with that. It's just that you only get paid for what you charge for, really. If you charge a 20-minute, you're only going to have to do a 20-minute consult.
Ben, I may add, in our next release that we are rapidly bringing it out, in the payment system, it will be timed. So the practice has the ability to charge the standard consult rates, or they can actually base it on a timed. So once the patient will be shown how long it's running and how much is costing them in addition, and then that way it helps them to manage their own budget.
Yeah, correct. So that's part of the payment solution that we're adding on, where you can actually work like a taxi system, where what it does is it times and charges per time taken.
Okay, thanks for that. The questions are still coming in. When you sign up, do you sign up for a minimum contract period, or can you just try it month by month?
Try it month by month. That's absolutely fine.
Okay. Another question that's come in, what are the key things you need to nail with telehealth?
Like we said in the start of the presentation, really it's a good internet connection, a nice looking room when you're doing the consult. Make sure that your patient has a good connection. So make sure that they're in their home, they have a good internet connection. Sometimes 4G connections can be touch and go, but we haven't seen any problems with a standard 4G connection. We do have practices that are up on a ski mountain using our systems on a 4G connection at the moment, and there's no issues that they're facing. So yeah, it's just a major normal little things, making sure that where you're doing it is clean, it's a nice environment, you've got a clean camera, good resolution. The patient has the same thing, because you're wasting your time and the patient's time if you can't see each other. It might as well be a phone conversation. So just test your camera out with one of your other staff on the other line, and test the system before trying out for your first consult. And we can help you test it out and make sure it's all going as part of the configuration.
And I might add one more two things for your comments is, for doctors, it's ideal to have dual display so that you work on your practice management system and you can see the patient. Number two, generally encourage patients to use mobile device. The reason being the microphone and the camera are very high quality without them getting involved in trying to get a webcams and microphones and mess it up for you. So those are the two other tips I thought I will add.
Thanks for that, guys. The next one is, can a patient upload their referral and results when they're booking an appointment?
Yes, they can. They can upload documents into the system where the doctor can view that.
Okay. Do all the users have to use the same telehealth room, or can it be installed on each user's computer in their own consulting room?
It can be installed on each user and use their own rooms.
Okay, last one from Shelley. On the mobile patient side, does it have a prompt for patient consent? Does the patient have to acknowledge a prompt to provide consent?
They can, yeah, we can make pop-ups to provide consent for a multitude of things. So like the questionnaire, we can say that under the terms and conditions of my clinic, you have to abide by these by clicking accept, etc., etc. We can do that, yes. And we've done that for a lot of our practices where we have to meet the practice's terms and conditions before entering into a telehealth or even an appointment.
Yeah, a simple way also on that subject is to use the existing terms and conditions, which you can redefine yourself, the text of that, so you can ask for an implicit consent.
Okay. Well, that was it. I think so far. Does anyone have any more questions for our team? It's been
the best
really
thing that
good.
always happens is someone has a question and then they forget and then they remember it as soon as they leave. So we're always happy to have the questions emailed to us as well.
Exactly. And my email address will be on that follow-up email. Just reminding you, you'll receive a copy of today's webinar within the hour. That has a link. And also I had some questions. Will we be sending a certificate? Yes, we always send a certificate for people that attend our webinars. And if you'd like more information or like a one-on-one web demo with one of our consultants, please tick the box when you exit and they'll be more than happy to show you the system in more detail and also answer any questions that are specific to your practice. I think that, oh no, we've got one more. Our patients come from diverse backgrounds. Are patients able to access the app in their language?
Rama, you want to go that one? This system is used in different countries, so I'll let Rama go through that.
I mean, what exactly was the specific question? Because most
different
of these
different languages on the app.
We have not, but we have the ability to internationalize, but we haven't done that. If there is a request, just pop it in and we'll be able to include that in the roadmap.
If you have a large range of specific ethnicities in your practices, we can adapt the application for you. Just give us the details and we'll be able to do that.
Okay. I think that's about it for today. We've covered quite a lot. Thank you, Ben, for all of your expertise and your preparing this for us. We will be having another session, hopefully next week. We're talking to an accounting practice about putting together, dealing with cash flow issues during this COVID crisis. So look out for our invitation for next week's webinar. But as we said, if you'd like more information about Manage My Health or Telehealth, we'd love to show you the product in more detail. So thank you again. So we'll say bye-bye for now. Bye, Ben. Bye, Rama.
Thanks all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.